Hey there, I'm Frank Mitchell. On this channel, it's all about helping you understand your car and keeping it running the way it should. Whether it's routine maintenance or solving those tricky problems, I've got you covered. If you find this useful, give the video a like, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to watch till the end. You might learn something that saves you time and money. All right, let's get started.
It is not only the generalist brands that are already concerned about the emissions of their vehicles. Also, the luxury brands, and specifically those dedicated to the manufacture of sports cars, are in the need to electrify all or part of their cars to reduce local pollution caused by their exhaust gases. Ferrari, for example, has just unveiled its new 296 GTB, a plug-in hybrid model that will compete directly with the McLaren Artura. That was unveiled a few months ago and also features PHEV technology. But what are their differences? We compare them in this brief article. Engine and performance. The Ferrari 296 GTB owes its commercial name to the fact that it has been equipped with a 2.9-liter six-cylinder V-twin gasoline engine. The acronym GTB stands for Gran Turismo Berlinetta. This turbocharged engine, installed in a central longitudinal arrangement, produces a maximum power output of 663 horsepower and 740 Nm of torque on its own. A secondary or auxiliary electric motor is associated with the engine in question, providing up to 166 horsepower and 315 Nm. Combined, both engines deliver a total of 830 horsepower and 740 Nm to the rear axle via an 8-speed automatic transmission. Thanks to these two engines, the 296 GTB can accelerate from 0 to 100 km per hour in 2.9 seconds, from 0 to 200 km per hour in 7.3 seconds, and reach 340 km per hour top speed. In addition, a particularly light 7.5 kWh gross capacity battery, around 60 kilograms, allows it to travel 25 km in 100% electric mode. According to the WLTP type approval cycle, thus obtaining the ECO label from the DGT, remember that, to have the Zero badge, it should have an electric range of 40 km or more. For its part, the McLaren Artura accommodates a 2.9-liter turbocharged gasoline engine with 6 cylinders in V, very similar to the Ferrari and located in an almost identical position, which in this case develops a maximum of 585 horsepower and 585 Nm of torque. The Artura's electric propellant has 95 horsepower and 225 Nm, so it is much lower than that of the 296 GTB, which translates into combined figures considerably worse than those of the Ferrari, up to 680 horsepower and 720 Nm. The traction is rear-wheel drive and the 8-speed automatic transmission has dual clutch, as in the rival model. Although the McLaren is somewhat slower than its Italian counterpart, it outperforms it in some areas, such as electric range. The Artura accelerates from 0 to 100 km/h in 3.0 seconds, from 0 to 200 km/h in 8.3 seconds and reaches 330 km/h top speed. The battery is also 7.5 kWh, liquid-cooled, and very light. Thanks to it, it can travel a maximum of 30 km in electric mode, so it does not opt for the distinctive Zero of the DGT, but the ECO label. Both McLaren and Ferrari have made a great effort to build a lightweight car despite its hybrid conception, only 1.5 tons in running order. Both cars have been developed under the Euro 6 emissions regulations. In the case of the Ferrari 296 GTB, the official consumption and emissions data have not yet been made public, but those of the McLaren Artura, which has been on the market since last February, are known and can serve as a reference: 129 g/km of CO2 and 5.7 L/100 km. However, this should not be a concern for its buyers, since the real consumption of these cars in normal conditions can be around 15 L/100 km with a depleted battery. Dimensions and volumes. The Ferrari 296 GTB is 4.56 meters long, 1.96 meters wide and 1.19 meters high with a wheelbase of 2.60 meters. The McLaren Artura is 4.54 meters long, 1.91 meters wide and 1.19 meters tall with a wheelbase of 2.64 meters. It is evident that, by external dimensions, are also two cars designed to dispute their exclusive customers. Perhaps the most relevant here are those 4 cm extra wheelbase that the Artura has over the 296 GTB, as they can result in an improvement in the space available inside and make a person of large stature opt for the British model rather than the Italian. Of course, both have only 2 seats and 2 doors. The trunk of the McLaren Artura has 160 liters of capacity and is located in front of the cabin, while that of the Ferrari has not yet transcended, although it is located in the same place. If it is known the volume of the fuel tank of the two cars that, among other things, can determine their total autonomy on a long distance trip, 65 liters of the 296 GTB for the 72 of the Artura. Finally, the McLaren's tires are 235/35 R19 at the front and 295/35 R20 at the rear. The Ferrari has 245/35 R20 at the front and 305/35 R20 at the rear. On the other hand, the brake discs are 390 mm front and 380 mm rear on the Artura, while on the Ferrari they reach 398 mm front, but stay at 360 mm rear. Equipment and price. The equipment of these hybrid supercars is very complete, and their only differences in this aspect are to be found in a very extensive number of customization possibilities that entail an extra cost. For example, the monocoques of the two vehicles are made of carbon fiber. They also include a Type 2 charger cable that allows 80% of the battery's electrical energy to be recharged in 2.5 hours, Pirelli. 0 tires on the wheels, whose pressures and temperatures are parameterized, aluminum brake calipers with 6 pistons at the front and 4 at the rear, brake discs made of carboceramic material, full interior upholstery and cabin trimmed with fine materials such as Alcantara and leather, telemetry functions, stability control intensity adjustment, a long list of driving aids, automatic climate control, steering wheel gearshift paddles, and various driving profiles. The McLaren has an additional 8-inch multimedia screen on the center console that the Ferrari does not have. The Ferrari relies on a large one for the instrument cluster. In contrast, the 296 GTB has a TFT display on the dashboard and in front of the co-driver that replicates speed and RPM data. Similarly, the McLaren has a performance specification with a functional and sporty aesthetic, a Tech-Lux specification oriented to luxury and technology, and a third called Vision, which shows a more avant-garde look. But, for its part, the Ferrari can be configured with the Assetto Fiorino package, which seeks even greater performance focused on intensive use on the circuit, bodywork with more carbon fiber elements, shock absorbers derived from competition, more aerodynamic load in some points, weight reduction of 15 kilograms, Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 or tires, etc. The entry price of the Artura is €235,000, while that of the 296 GTB starts at €269,000. However, these are by no means the most expensive models available from either manufacturer. In conclusion, both the Ferrari 296 GTB and the McLaren Artura represent remarkable advancements in hybrid supercar technology, each with its own unique strengths. The Ferrari impresses with its stunning design and exhilarating performance, while the McLaren offers exceptional handling and cutting-edge engineering. Ultimately, the choice between these two titans comes down to personal preference, whether you prioritize the iconic allure of Ferrari or the innovative spirit of McLaren. Whichever you choose, both cars promise an unforgettable driving experience that pushes the boundaries of what a hybrid supercar can achieve. Thank you for watching, and be sure to share your thoughts on which one you think reigns supreme.